Sodor's best green engine. It was a hot spring day on the island of Sodor, and all of Sir Topham Hatt's engines were working very hard, delivering all their goods and passengers on time. However, since it was the hot spring time on the island of Sodor, there was way more work than usual. There was more passengers coming to the island than ever before. Oliver was brought over to help out from the Little Western to help take the passengers to and from Knapford all the way to Harwick. But that didn't stop Oliver, as he chuffed on his way to drop off his passengers. He didn't want to be late. That's when, one bright spring morning at Knapford Station, Thomas, Percy, Emily, James, and Henry were at Knapford Station. They were all very anxious to see what Sir Topham had to tell them. When James spoke up. "Hey guys, do you know what today is?" James said to Henry, Percy, Emily, and Thomas. "No, James, what day is today?" Percy said to James. "Today is St. Patrick's Day, the day we get to celebrate the color green. Even though I'm not a green engine, I'm a splendid red engine," James boasted. Henry was surprised. "Today is St. Patrick's Day? Well, I find that pretty interesting," said Henry to James. "I have to agree with you guys," Emily said. But before Emily could finish, Sir Topham Hatt came to see them. He had important news. "Ladies, gentlemen, and engines, tonight I am hosting a St. Patrick's Day party here at Knapford Station. The engine that finishes all their jobs on time in a very timely manner will get to take the special visitor to the party," Sir Topham Hatt proudly announced. "Thomas, you're going to be taking me and my family to the party tonight." "Oh, yes, sir," Thomas said excitedly. And so, that's when Sir Topham Hatt gave the engines their jobs, and then he left. Thomas was excited. "Bust my buffers! I wonder who's going to take the special visitor to the party tonight," Thomas said to the other engines. Percy chuckled. "Oh, Thomas, it might be Smudger. Who knows? But it's probably going to be me," Percy said. Emily laughed. "Huh? Percy, it's good hearing about Smudger sometimes," Emily said. As James spoke up again. "Come on, you guys. We have a lot of work to do. We need to get Knapford Station ready in time for the St. Patrick's Day party tonight." And so, that's when James tooted his whistle as all the other engines left to go get Knapford Station ready for the party. However, while the other engines were getting Knapford Station ready for the St. Patrick's Day party that night, Duck was at Wellsworth Station. He was collecting the workmen to help put up all the party banners all over Knapford Station to get it ready for the St. Patrick's Day party that night. That's when the workmen boarded Duck's coaches, and that's when the guard blew his whistle as Duck set on his way to Knapford Station to get it ready for the party. That's when later on that afternoon, at the shunting yard, Oliver was shunting a last small goods train for Henry to take. That's when he saw Emily and Percy there. "Hey, Percy and Emily, did you hear? The engine who finishes all their jobs at the end of the day gets to take the special visitor to the St. Patrick's Day party tonight," Oliver said excitedly. "I know, and did you hear? The engine that finishes all their jobs gets to take the visitor to the party tonight," Emily said excitedly. "Well, that sounds exciting," said Oliver. "I wonder who it will be," Oliver said excitedly. "Well, it's probably going to be me. After all, I have a big driving wheel," Emily bragged. "No, no, no," said Percy. "It will be me. I'm the engine who takes the mail train at night," Percy said crossly to Emily. "No, I'll be the one to take the special visitor tonight," Oliver said to Emily. "No, I will. No, I will," Percy, Emily, and Oliver said together, as the three engines began to bicker back and forth. But then, an idea flew into Oliver's funnel. "Hey guys, I have an idea of how we could solve this," Oliver said to Emily and Percy. "What's your idea, Oliver?" Percy and Emily said. to Oliver. And so, Oliver told Percy and Emily his idea. So, Percy and Emily, my idea is, we should race all over the island to see who will be the engine to take the special visitor to the party, and that will be me, said Oliver. But before Emily could reply, Toad spoke up. Mr. Oliver, are you sure racing is such a good idea? Who knows, you might get into a nasty accident, Toad said to Oliver nervously. Oh, Toad, you worry too much. This race will be fine, Oliver said to Toad. I don't know, Mr. Oliver. Racing isn't such a good idea, you know, and it just may result in a nasty accident, Toad said nervously to Oliver. Toad, you worry too much. Besides, this race will be fun, and I'll be the winner, Oliver boasted to Emily and Percy. No, I will, said Percy. No, I will, said Emily. But before Oliver could reply, Toad had one more thing to tell him. Racing isn't such a good idea, Mr. Oliver. It's true. It just sounds very dangerous, that's why, Mr. Oliver, said Toad to Oliver. Toad, it will be fine. None of us will get harmed, said Oliver. Anyways, on your marks, get set, go, said Oliver, as Oliver began to get Emily's coaches ready. Percy began to follow Oliver. Emily had to wait until her coaches were ready. As Oliver was beginning the race, Toad was really worried. I hope Mr. Oliver knows what he's doing, Toad said nervously. But Toad was still nervous, as he knew that this race was gonna be a disaster. He had a bad feeling it will. And soon the race begun. Percy and Emily were pumping their pistons and going super fast along the main line. Emily was going ahead of Percy. "Ha-ha, Percy, you can't catch me. I'll be the winner," she said. "No, I'll be the winner," Percy chuffed. But then there was trouble. Stepney was on Percy's line. He was on his way to go to the coach yard to collect some coaches to help out with passengers in Knapford Station. Stepney was shocked to see Percy on the same line. "Percy, watch out," Stepney said. Luckily, the signalman changed the points just in time. Stepney was very cross. "Percy, watch where you're going. You could have caused a nasty accident with me," Stepney said crossly to Percy. "Sorry, Stepney, didn't mean to," as Percy kept on going no matter what. That's when Oliver was going fast on the main line. He was doing the same thing as Percy and Emily. I have to get my jobs done as quick as possible. There are two ways of doing things, Oliver said to himself. But then there was trouble. Gordon was going by really fast with the Ulfstead Express. "Get out of the way, Oliver," Gordon said. Luckily, the signalman changed the points just in time. Gordon was most upset. "Oliver, look where you're going. You could have caused a nasty accident with the express on the Ulfstead main line," Gordon said crossly, as he chuffed on. "Sorry, Gordon, I didn't mean to. It's just for the special visitor," Oliver said, as he kept going on. Meanwhile, at Wellsworth Station, Duck was having a rest. He was really glad and relieved that he got all his jobs done in time. "Whew, bust my buffers," Duck told himself. "I can't believe I got done with all my jobs. I have one more job to do." But before Duck could finish, he saw Percy and Emily coming from the distance. He was concerned. "Huh? What's going on here? Is there a competition or something?" Duck said in confusion. Then he saw Oliver on Emily's line. "Watch out, you three! You're gonna get into a very nasty accident," Duck said nervously. "What? Uh-oh," said Percy and Emily together. as both engines applied their brakes until it was too late. As they all crashed into each other. Luckily, no one was hurt. Percy, Emily, and Oliver's driver and fireman had all jumped clear, but the three engines were in a massive wreck. Sir Topham Hatt came to inspect the damages. He was very cross. "Percy, Emily, and Oliver, what is the meaning of this? Why have you all derailed like this on the main line?" Sir Topham Hatt scolded severely. Oliver felt very silly, but he knew what he had to do. "Please, sir, it's my fault," Oliver said to Sir Topham Hatt. And so, that's when Oliver explained to Sir Topham Hatt about their competition, and that they all wanted to be one of the engines to bring the special visitor to the party. "I see," Sir Topham Hatt said. "I understand because you three are all green, and green is the color of St. Patrick's Day, and that you all wanted to bring the special visitor to the party. But because of all the confusion and delay you three have caused, including you, Emily, bumping your passengers about like peas in a frying pan..." "Oh, I'm sorry, sir," she said. "You three will not be taking the special visitor to the party tonight," Sir Topham Hatt scolded severely. "Aww," Percy, Emily, and Oliver said together. They felt so ashamed of themselves. Oliver and Emily, though, felt worse than ever. They both felt very silly and foolish. "Duck, since you are the green engine that didn't get involved with those three engines, you will get to take the special visitor to the party tonight." "Oh, thank you, sir, thank you." Duck was so excited, he went to go and collect coaches to collect the special visitor right away. And so, that's when Percy, Emily, and Oliver were back on the rails, when Thomas and James arrived to take them to the works. Thomas couldn't help but laugh. "Looks like you guys got yourself into a very sticky situation, haven't they, James?" Thomas said cheekily. "Oh, yes they have, Thomas. Look at them. They have gone into a really bad derailment. They may join the St. Patrick's Day party or not. It just depends on how long they're at the works for. I don't know, but they may miss out on the party," James said. Percy, Emily, and Oliver said nothing, as James and Thomas took them all to the works to be repaired. And so, that's when Duck arrived at Wellsworth Station to collect the special visitor. The special visitor was most impressed to see Duck. "Oh my, what a lovely, splendid green engine," said the visitor. Duck smiled. "Oh, thank you, sir, thank you." "You are a very splendid green engine. Oh, we must make it to the party on time," he said. And that's when the special visitor boarded on Duck's coaches as Duck left for Knapford Station for the party. And so, that's when Duck arrived at Knapford Station for the St. Patrick's Day party. The special visitor was most impressed. "That was a smooth ride, Duck," he said. His friend agreed with him. "Oh yes, Duck, that was a marvelous ride." "And let the party begin," they said. And so, the St. Patrick's Day party begun. Duck was surprised to see Percy, Emily, and Oliver already there. "What are you three doing here at the party? I thought you three were supposed to be at the works," Duck said curiously. "Oh, we were, Duck, but we were only there for just a couple of minutes. That's all," said Percy. "Yeah," said Emily. "We only had a few scrapes and scratches, but we didn't want to miss out on the party," Emily said. "Yeah, Duck, we didn't want to miss out on the party at all," Oliver said to Duck. Duck laughed, but then the three green engines had something to say to Duck. "Duck, I'm really sorry about how I was in that competition that I know you saw with me and Percy. It was rather silly and rather foolish of us to compete like that." Oliver said to Duck. Percy couldn't agree more with Oliver. Yeah, Oliver, I have to agree with you. It was rather silly, foolish, and dangerous of us to compete like that, said Percy to Oliver. Emily also agreed. Yeah, you two, I have to agree with you. Even though the race was fun at first, it was a bit dangerous, and I did bump my passengers about like peas in a frying pan. Something I should have thought about sooner. But, yeah, it was just rather dangerous of us, said Emily to Oliver and Duck. Yeah, Duck, and we're rather sorry about that, and we won't do something like that again. And it was just rather foolish and immature of us to do that. And we won't do it again, even if we have something in common like being green, you know? And there are two ways of doing things, Oliver said to Duck. Duck smiled and agreed with Percy, Emily, and Oliver. It's okay, you three. I forgive you. Just know it's best to take the Great Western Way, Duck said. The three engines laughed, as did Thomas, James, and Henry and Stepney. And so the party continued. It was the best St. Patrick's Day party the island of Sodor has ever had.